Hello students, I am Pallavi Gupta. Today I will discuss Election Commission of India, the composition of Election Commission of India. Under this I will discuss introduction of the constitution or the composition of Election Commission, several case laws. Under the introduction of the composition of Election Commission, I will discuss the debate which were made in the Constituent Assembly for the composition of Election Commission, whether it should be part of fundamental right or not, whether there should be a central election commission or there should be provincial election commission or regional election commission. So the founding fathers of the constitution devoted a special page or a special chapter to elections under part 15 of the constitution. In the draft article of 289 of the Constitution of India, which is presently known as Article 324, in part 15 of the Constitution. So, under Article 289 of the Constituent Assembly, it was discussed on 15 June 1949. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly and one of the chief architect of the Indian Constitution, stated in the Constituent Assembly, keeping in mind the independence of the election, he said that the independence of the election and the avoidance of any interferences by the executive in the election to the legislature should be regarded as the fundamental right and provided for in the chapter dealing with the fundamental rights. When the matter came for the discussion before the House, it was the wish of the House that while there was no objection to regard this matter as of the fundamental importance, it should be provided for in some other part of the Constitution, but not in the chapter dealing with the fundamental right. Although it has a importance of fundamental, but it should not be part of fundamental right. And the House confirmed that in the interest of the purity and freedom of election to the legislative body, it is important that it should be free from any kind of interferences from the executive. So drafting committee decided to maintain a separate part for the election which contain Article 289 to 290, which we have as Article 324 to 20 in part 15 of the Constitution of India. Subclass 1 of the article says that it transfers the superintendent's direction and control of the preparation of the electoral rolls and of all elections to parliament and legislature of the state to a body outside the executive to be called the Election Commission. This is mentioned under subclause 1 of the Article 324. Subclause 2 says that there should be a chief election commissioner and such other election commissioner as the president may appoint time to time. During the Constituent Assembly debate, there was a discussion that there were two alternatives before the drafting committees, namely either to have a permanent body consisting of the 4 or 5 members of the election commissions who would continue in the office without any break, or they have to permit the president to have an ad hoc body appointed at the time when there is an election short. Meaning by there were two alternatives, whether to have a permanent body election commission or to ad hoc whenever the election required. Drafting committee proposes to have a permanent body or permanent office, one man called that the chief election commissioner. Under Article 289 of the drafting committee, uh, it was uh, uh, it was also discussion that there should be one commission to deal with the election to the central legislature, both the upper and lower houses, and there should be a separate election commission for each province and each state to be appointed by the governor or the ruler of the state. Means there were discussion to have a central election commission and the provincial election commission. This article proposes to centralize the election machinery in the hands of election in the hands of a single commission to be assisted by regional commissioner not working under the provincial governor or the provincial government but working under the superintendence and control of the central election commission, meaning thereby it is decided in the constituent assembly debate there should be a central election uh, commission with the support of the regional commissioner. It means the whole of the election machinery should be in the hand of the Central Election Commission, which alone would be entitled to issue directions to returning officers, polling officers, and other officers engaged in the preparation and revision of the electoral rolls so that no injustice may be done to any citizen in India who under this constitution is entitled to be brought on the electoral roll. Composition of election commission. So therefore under article 324 the election commission shall consist of the chief election commissioner and such members of other election commissioners, if any, as the president may fix time to time. When any other election commissioner is so appointed, the chief election commissioner shall act as the chairman of the election commission as mentioned under article 324 subclause 3. So therefore the election commission is thus a permanent constitutional body created by article 324. It came into existence on 25th January 1950, just on the eve of the India becoming sovereign democratic republic on 26th January 1950. However, the first chief election commissioner was appointed on 21st March 1950. Appointment of chief election Commissioner and Election Commissioners. The Chief Election Commissioner and the Election Commissioner shall be appointed by the President, but it will be subject to the provision of any law if made by the Parliament in this behalf under Article 324 Subclause 2. The Constitution left it to the President to decide whether the Election Commission should be a single member body or a multi-member body. It depends upon the exigencies of the work in the Commission. From the time of its inception in January 1950 till the middle of the October 1989, the Election Commission functioned as a single member body consisting of only the Chief Election Commissioner. However, on the 7th October 1989, the President, in exercise of the power under Article 324 Subclause 2, decided to make the Election Commission a multi-member body and by a notification fixed the number of election commissioners at 2 beside the Chief Election Commissioner. By a further notification on 16 October 1989, the President appointed Shri S.S. Dhanua and Shri V.S. Sehgal as the 2 election commissioners from that day. On the same day, by another notification was issued by President under Article 324 Subclause 5 by this President made rules to regulate the condition of service and tenure of the office of election commissioners. These conditions laid down that the election commissioner shall hold office for a term of 5 years or until he attains the age of 65 years, whichever happens earlier, but nothing was provided in this rule to define the role of election commissioners or their relationship between the Chief Election Commissioner or with regard to transaction of the business of the Commission as a multi-member body. However, on 1st January 1990, the President was pleased to convert the Election Commission again into a single member body and rescind both the notification dated 7th and 16th October 1989, whereby he had fixed the number of election commissioners at 2 and appointed Shri S.S. Dhanua and Shri V.S. Sehgal as the election commissioner. Shri S.S. Dhanua challenged their decision of President before the Supreme Court, contending that once appointed, an election commissioner continued in office for his full tenure as determined by rules under Article 324 Subclause 5, and the President had no power to cut short the tenure so fixed. It was also argued that the Election Commission, being an independent body, its independent functioning could not be eroded by any manner by removing the 2 election commissioners. A division bench of Supreme Court with Justice M.H. Kania and P.V. Sawant rejected the contention of Shri Dhanua and dismissed his petition. On 24 July 1991, the Supreme Court held on merit that there was no need for the post of the election commissioner at the time the appointment were made and the post and that in the absence of a clear definition of their role in the commission, the abolition of the post paved the way for its smooth and effective functioning. So, we can say the single member body, which was made multinational body in 1989, but it was removed in 1990, again a single member body. But in the year of 1993, at the end of the 1993, President again decided to make the Election Commission a multi-member body by a notification dated 1st October 1993. President again fixed the member of Election Commissioner at 2 beside the Chief Election Commissioner. By another notification, he appointed Dr. M.S. Gill and Shri G.B.G. Krishnamurthy as the 2 election commissioner. Simultaneously, the President also promulgated an ordinance entitled the Chief Election Commissioner and the Other Election Commissioner Condition of Service Amendment Ordinance 1993 with respect to condition of the services of these officers. The Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners shall have all equal powers in the matter of decision making, and in case of any differences of opinion among themselves, the matter would be decided by the opinion of the majority. It was mentioned in the ordinance. This ordinance was replaced by the Parliamentary Act in 1994. Although T.N. Session challenged the decision of President, uh, he he um, he uh, he contended that the decision of the president is wrong. The decision of the president to make the multi-member body, this election commission of India, it's a wrong. It is a malified. The intention behind this order is to sideline him, as to erode his authority, so that the ruling party at the center could extract favorable orders by using the service of newly appointed election commissioner. And the parliament has no power to make this law like this. The matter was referred to a constitution bench, as in it involved the interpretation of Article 324. The constitution bench of the Supreme Court, with Chief Justice of India as A.M. Ahmedi, Justice J.S. Verma, Justice M.P. Singh, Justice S.P. Barucha, and Mr. Justice M.K. Mukherjee. Although they dismissed the petition by a unanimous decision on 14 July 1995, the Supreme Court held that the scheme of Article 324 is that the Election Commission can either be a single member body or a multi-member body. If the President considers it necessary to appoint one or more election commissioner, it is valid one. By Article 324, Subclause 1, the Constitution maker entrusted the task of conducting election in the country to the Election Commission and not to an individual body. The Supreme Court also upheld the power of Parliament to make provisions for the transaction of the business of Election Commission under Clause 2 and 5 of Article 324, 327 and 328 and Anti 72 of the List 1 of the 7th Schedule of the Constitution. Thus, the Election Commission is now functioning since 1st October 1993 as a 3-member body comprising of the Chief Election Commissioner and 2 election commissioners. The Election Commission, in its view on the elected reform as communicated to the Government of India in 1998 and reiterated in July 2004. It has expressed satisfaction with the present setup and they recommended that its strength may be permanently fixed at 3. Qualification of the Chief Election Commissioner and the other election commissioner. Regarding the qualification of the Chief Election Commissioner or the other election commissioner, it is not prescribed in the Constitution anywhere. Although by convention only the senior civil servant, either serving or retired of the rank of the cabinet secretary or the secretary to the government of India or of an equivalent rank has been appointed as the chief election commissioner and election commissioner so far. Condition of the service of the chief election commissioner and the election commissioner. Article 324 subclause 5 says that the condition of the service of the chief election commissioner and other election commissioner and their tenure of the office shall be regulated by parliament by making law. However, in the absence of such a law, the president shall determine by rule all such matters. Before 1991, all these matters were determined by the president by rules and orders made from time to time. Under the Chief Election Commissioner Condition of Service Rule 1972, the tenure of the office of the Chief Election Commissioner was fixed at 5 years and he was given the salary and allowances equivalent to those of the Secretary to the Government of India. By the by the Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioner Condition of Service Act 1991, the tenure was fixed as 6 years, whereas the tenure of the Chief Election Commission and the Election Commissioner, if appointed, was fixed as 6 years, whereas the Chief Election Commissioner was to retire at the age of 65 years and was given the salary of the judge of the Supreme Court. The election commissioner were to retire at the age of 62 years and were to be given the salary of a judge of High Court. Although this Act of 1991 was amended in 1993, whereby the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners were placed on a par with each other at the matter of their retirement age and also in respect of their salaries and allowances, which were to be the same as that of a judge of the Supreme Court. And it was also provided that the Chief Election Commission and other election commissioners shall have equal say in decision making, and in case of any differences of opinion among them on any matter, it has to be decided with the majority. Secretariat of Election Commission. It was decided that being an independent body for the election, there should be a separate secretariat. So, Election Commission has a separate secretariat of its own, permanently headquartered at New Delhi. It has it consists deputy election commissioner, director general, director, senior principal secretaries, principal secretaries, secretaries, under secretaries, section officer, assistant clerk, etc., etc. Their service conditions are regulated by rules made by the President under Article 309, like service rules of the other officer and staff employed in various ministries and departments of the Government of India in connection with the affairs of the Union. The work of the Commission has been described among these officers and staff both on the functional basis and on the regional basis. There are some officers and sections dealing with the policies, planning, judicial and administrative matters. information system on all India basis, whereas others deal with this decision work relating to specified states, union territories under their charges. Officers at the level of deputy election commissioners, director generals, and directors are normally appointed on deputation from the National Civil Services on tenure basis, whereas the officers at the other level are permanent officer in the commission secretariat from its own rank. Administrative expenditure of election commission. The administrative expenditure of the election commission is not charged on the consolidated fund of India. It is a voted expenditure, and it is continued as a voted expenditure by the parliament. So this is all about the composition of the election commission of India. Earlier it was a single member body, now it is a multi-member body, and all the election commissioner including chief election commissioner are having a equal status, equal pay and equal say. Now next topic will be the electoral machinery. Bye bye. Thank you for watching me.